My name is Lieutenant Amy Alcorn. I'm a lieutenant in the United States Navy working for the Blue Angels. My job for the Blue Angels is administrative officer, and then collaterally to that, I have a lot of other jobs, including executive officer, which is in charge of all, mainly the discipline for the group. So, I got to the team last November, November 2001. So I've been on the team for about 6 months now, and I've been having an absolute blast ever since. Big learning curve from what part of the Navy I came from to coming to this, but it's been fun learning it all.
That's awesome. Amy, could you tell us, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Mississippi, but raised in Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, central part of Illinois.
Now, have you always been around the Navy? Was your family in the Navy, or how did you become interested in joining the Navy?
Actually, it's kind of a funny story. I was kind of a tomboy when I grew up. You know, I was all into the G.I. Joes and all that, and my dad said, well, maybe you should join the Army, you know, out of high school. Didn't seem to have a lot of interest in going to college, didn't really have a big focus on what big, you know, careers I wanted to do. So I thought about going into the Army. So, you know, as I got closer to graduating from high school, I, you know, decided to go into the Army. But the Army had to have me weighing 100 and, I want to say it was like 115 or 105 pounds or something like that. And I was just a skinny little runt.
Wow.
I weighed 96 pounds when I graduated from high school. So I couldn't get into the Army. You know, my dad walked into the Army recruiter and says, well, now what? You know, now what can we do? Army guy says, well, take her next door to the Navy guys. Maybe they'll take her. So 20 years later, here I am.
So if someone would like to become an administration officer with the Blue Angels, how would they go about doing that? What's a good career path for them to take? Let's say from high school to where you are now.
Wow, from high school, what I did was figure out which job I wanted to do in the Navy, and that was very important because they have generic jobs in the Navy, but they also have specific jobs. And I seemed to like my skill tests that I took. You know, said I was good with machinery / administrative type equipment, and so I said, well, you know, administrative yeoman is the Navy job skill for administration. It's typing of correspondence, filing, official mail, pay matters, personnel matters, promotion matters, you know, fitness reports, you know, that kind of thing. So I just followed, you know, looked at everybody above me, what they were doing, how good they were doing. I said, okay, I want to do what that person is doing, so I just followed the person that was ahead of me and tried to match their skill level, which got me promoted very quickly. And I got all the way up to Chief Petty Officer, which is E7, from E1 to E7. And then there's a program in the Navy called Limited Duty Officer, where you can get a commission as an officer, but you're restricted or limited to your specific skill, and that, for me, was administration. So there's a small group in the Navy of limited duty officers. Each of them have their own specific limit of what they do. And so mine was administration. I started out as an ensign, almost, you know, at the bottom of the ladder of the officers, but still, you know, I had a commission. So I took a couple hard jobs, and when it came time to apply for the Blue Angels, you know, they asked me if I wanted to apply. I said, my gosh, you know, I'm not going to pass up this opportunity. This is, you know, an opportunity to meet with people, you know, meet with kids, you know, talk to the young girls at the high schools and tell them, yes, the Navy is a great place. You know, the career is there. It's not just a, you know, male organization. Women are doing some fantastic things in the Navy, and I wanted that opportunity to tell, you know, high school girls and boys and even younger than that the Navy has a great potential for a great career. So I applied and I got selected, and here I am 6 months later.
You said you're an executive officer and also administration officer for the Blue Angels. Could you tell us a little bit about your job, say a daily job, day in and day out, kind of what you take care of, and kind of responsibilities and stuff like that?
Well, basically, we're in charge of all the pay and personnel matters. So if somebody needs to be transferred to the next command, we make sure that all their paperwork is in order. They get promoted, we make sure all that paperwork is in order. All the pay issues, people get promoted, they get more pay. We make sure all the pay documents are in order. And then there's the official mail. The Blue Angels gets a lot of mail. We have a lot of fan mail. We have a lot of people just love to send us stuff and write us and tell us how wonderful everything, that they, you know, how wonderful we are. And it's really neat getting those things, but there's a lot of it. So we've got a big group of people that opens up, we call fan mail, and we answer each one. Emails, we get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day from people just saying, hey, I saw your show at this site, it was wonderful, just, want to tell you a great thing. And we answer each one of those as well. So there's a lot of people involved in making sure the public, gets a response back, and we're not, just a receive-only kind of mode.
In order for you to answer as many emails and mail, you must have a large staff.
Actually, unfortunately we don't. I've got 3 individuals in my office, and then the public affairs office also shares a lot. So they do the email part of it, we do the paper side of it, and they've only got 3 people in the public affairs office. So long, long hours. The guys are coming in at 7 and they're leaving. Most days when I'm there, I'm usually keeping them till 5. So but I'm also, I'm learning the job from scratch, and so I'm working a little bit longer hours now. I think by this time next year I'll be able to ease back on the hours, because I won't still be in the learning curve of learning the newness and the uniqueness of this job compared to a job, let's say, on a ship or something.
Sounds like you have some pretty motivated and passionate people working for you, people who really want to be here and do their job and is excited about being in the Navy and for the Blue Angels.
Absolutely. Every enlisted member we have on our team is also applies and is interviewed and is picked for this team. And the reason they apply and they're picked by the other team members is because we want to make sure that we're getting a good group of people that know how to basically represent the Navy, represent what the public needs to and should see of how great the Navy is. And so we pick the people that can be put on the camera on the spot, the people who can, be in front of the jets doing mechanical work and are going to be doing that extremely professionally, so that when, the public sees them changing a tire or fixing, or whatever, they can turn around from there and still be professional. And when somebody asks, so what are you doing? Oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. And so you have a very mature mechanic and or public affairs person. We have hospital corpsmen, yeomen, electricians, supply types. They all have to have that kind of uniqueness to where they can talk to the public about what they do.
So the Blue Angels, you're kind of a mini city with a little bit of everything, a little bit of flavor of everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a because we're on the road so much, we have to have a lot of people that are very good at their job and can do it without having to be told what to do. A lot of independent workers is what we need. We have a lot of senior petty officers that have done this in the fleet, and they're picked from the fleet because they did really good there and rewarded by getting a tour here.
So do you have any advice for the youth of America out there? If they want to live their dreams, any advice for those guys? How to, if they want to be a Blue Angel or just a doctor, a lawyer? Any advice for them?
Oh my gosh. I would say that the Navy has a tremendous amount of opportunities out there. The Navy will educate you, they will feed you, they will house you. Everything, if you want to start as an enlisted and be the basic blue-collar worker for the Navy is extremely rewarding. All the benefits that you get with that is just as much as any major corporation, if not more. You immediately get full medical, full dental, insurance, education. They'll teach you your job. You don't have to come in there with the skills. You just have to come in there with a desire to learn and a desire for adventure. The opportunities to travel. A lot of times young kids will say, my gosh, I don't want to go on a ship. I mean, ooh, that doesn't sound very exciting. Well, if you look at the bright side, you look at the opportunities, I mean, I can't even count on both hands and both feet the different amount of countries that I've been in my 20 years. And I've met, every race, every creed, every color of person that I can possibly imagine in my travels. And I haven't met anybody I didn't like. I mean, it's just been fantastic. I'm thinking about going overseas again just for the opportunity to see other parts of the world. This job, we're traveling all over the United States, and I've met, great people just in all the travels here with the team. But the Navy has opportunities for travel. But if you want to go to college, by all means, go to college and come in as an officer in the Navy, and there you are, management. And you can be a doctor and a lawyer in the Navy. And you can be in charge of supply storekeeping in the Navy. You can be in charge of administration. You can fly planes, drive ships, drive submarines, and you still 100% Navy takes care of you. They take care of your family. And there's no other place like it. It's a big family. It's a large corporation in its own is basically what it is, and tremendous opportunities.
Amy, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for being a great ambassador to this country.
Well, it's a pleasure.
And for serving in the United States Navy with the Blue Angels. We really appreciate it. And thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.